My testimony is, I carried around a lot of guilt and shame for a long time, but God took that from me. It's the only reason I'm able to be up here today and talk about this. And so my story is not easy to tell, but God's story in my life is. I was born in 1988 in Southern California, in San Bernardino. I come from a poor family, one of addiction. The Bible speaks of generational curses, and they're very real. And we moved around a lot. My mom was a very codependent person. So it was always one boyfriend to the next, most of them being abusive. And, we finally ended up in Missouri in 1999. And between 88 and 99, I had lived in 7 different states. So I was always the new kid. Several different schools. It was hard to build friendships and things like that. So, that's just a little bit of my upbringing. I come from a long line of alcoholism. Both my grandparents died from alcoholism. My mom died from alcoholism, and I never knew my father. And in 2012, when I was 14 years old, my mom died from a drinking and driving accident, single car accident, which almost took the life of my little sister. And she was life-flighted to Columbia Children's Hospital, and her being a single mother, we got put into state's custody. And that's really where my life went upside down. My mom was a Christian. She grew up Catholic, but went to Christianity, and we were always a Sunday and Easter family. That was the only time I ever went to church. And after my mom passed away, me and my sister went into foster homes, different ones, and I kept running away. I was 14 years old, and I just wanted to be with my older brother. And he's 10 years older than me, so he was 24 at the time. And I didn't see why I couldn't go live with my older brother. And the state didn't like that, and so I ended up in a boys' home. And I remained there until the age of 17, and I became a legal adult and was emancipated. And at that time, I was able to receive my mother's Social Security money. And with that, I dropped out of school, got my own apartment, and that's where the drugs and alcohol in my life really began to take effect, because 17 years old and fresh out of high school with all your friends wanting a place to go hang out with no parents, I might have a place to go. And that just led to a lot of criminal activity. And at the age of 19, I went to prison. And, I was in and out of prison from 2009 to 2015. At 2015, my debt to society was paid. I was released with no family really. My brother was incarcerated. I hadn't talked to my sister since my mom had died, and didn't have any idea where she was at. And I was just alone. And I became homeless on the streets of Springfield. And the addiction really took over then. I became addicted to drugs in the worst way. I was a IV drug user, and that's a demon that is within itself of another nature. And in 2020, my daughter was born, and I had so much shame and guilt. I was homeless. I was supposed to be a father, and something inside of me, I had an emptiness in there, and I kept filling it with all the wrong things. And I had tried church and I had said the words and I thought I was saved, but I didn't feel saved and I didn't know what I was doing wrong. And, something that it's the Holy Spirit told me that I needed God and I needed to go and just be closer with Him. And so I checked myself into rehab, and that brought me to Columbia last year, a little over a year ago. And because I could not get clean and sober in Springfield, where my playground of sin was. It was too easy for me, too many people of, ungodly people. And I remember praying to God. I was under a bridge and it was winter. I remember praying and I said, God, please take this addiction from me. And I remember I said, man, there's got to be like a monastery or something I can go to just focus on you. And so I checked myself into rehab, and my friend drove me to Columbia to the Phoenix House. And, that's where I found out about Into Action, which is a Christ-based recovery home. And so, prayer answered. And that was a little over a year ago, and the thing that I was missing after being saved was being obedient to God in all its forms. And the thing that has helped me out the most is you guys, and just getting into the Word. And so my story is one of sin and shame, but God's story in my life is one of hope and love and grace. And I just want to thank you guys for being there for me through all of it. Today, come December, I'll have a year off of alcohol, and I have almost 18 months off of all drugs. So, and that's only because of God. That's all I got. Thank you guys.